AI is evolving fast. Are you ready? Meet AI at FlytBase, your weekly hub to learn, upskill, and stay ahead in AI world. Let's dive into today's session.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another AI in Action. Thanks for joining in for another Thursday for another AI hack. Today with us, we have Nivedita, who will be also sharing her perspective of how she's using AI for customer success. Quite an interesting flow, but before we dive right in, let's first look into what's the what's the news that was there in the past week. And for those of you who are joining in for the first time and haven't joined our AI community yet, the QR code out there will help. I'll be presenting this at the end as well, so you can scan the QR code at that time. Moving forward, let's go with the news of this week. Cool. So we all know that there are different AI agents that's come out. This particular AI agent is very good at accessing any website. So it can go in and it can do a lot of things. It could extract data, it could fill forms, and it could do a lot of things. So you know all these AI browsers out there, from DR to Comet to various other browsers. It all helps you do pretty much actions like going and accessing the net, and also going and trying to fill out forms. But then in between, the agent tends to stop. But this agent is pretty much doing a very good job at it. It's able to go and actually get the work done on the web. So do try it out. I'll send the link in the comment box below. Moving ahead, so ChatGPT, as you know, is going absolutely strong. It's bringing a lot of connectors in. This time's popular connector, which I am very, very much looking forward to, I've not used it yet, is Lovable. So Lovable is getting connected directly into ChatGPT, which makes you, makes it available for you to do all of these designs, front end, back end, and everything as such directly through ChatGPT, which is pretty cool. And given that, chat, one second, let me try seeing where that is. Okay, so Lovable also connects directly with Anytin at this point. So you go into Lovable, you have the backend of Anytin connected, so you can do workflows, and also it connects to Superbase, so you have the complete backend figured out, and then it connects to Stripe as well, so including payments. So that makes an entire website with inbound automation flows and everything together. So that's something that Lovable has brought in from their side as well. So just wanted to mention about that. Moving ahead, OpenAI didn't stop there. I'm not sure how many of them use Clay, but Clay has been a very, trending software as of now. Like, people are onto Clay and prospecting using Clay and customer success using Clay. There's a lot of things that's happening with Clay. For those of you who are using Clay, it's on ChatGPT now, and that's doing a lot of wonders for a lot of them out there. And Figma has been bringing a lot of improvements. So the last Thursday, I took a session. I did let you guys know about how they've brought in, the erase and isolate functionality, where you can select areas. This time they've brought in a good crop improvements. So that's doing pretty much most of the job, and a lot of work has become much more comfortable. Moving ahead, cool. So a person has created a GitHub repo of all MCPs that connects to all Google services. So that includes, Google Analytics, that includes the complete Google Workspace and all of that. So this complete MCP GitHub has everything. So you can just use that one GitHub to get access to everything. So pretty cool thing.
Hey Shruti, how are you doing?
All good. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you for having me here.
Go ahead. So it's your time now.
Okay, perfect. Hi guys. So this is actually my first AI in action over here. My name is Nivedita Huple. I work as a solutions engineer here at FlytBase. What that means is that I'm part of the customer success and business development team, and I'm personally looking after the North America and South America region. Some context about just setting the agenda, and also why I actually created this workflow. We are basically going to look at how we can resolve issues and go into diagnosis and analysis a lot faster than we otherwise do. Just a really short line, right? I am someone who does not come from a drone, robotics, or engineering background. I was an architect. So when I came over here and my customers just came to me with tons of issues, a lot of it was just like right on top of my head. I did not get it. And what happened after that is that I would obviously be dependent on the tech team to like, hey, okay, my customer ABC had XYZ issue. Tell me what the problem is. And then they would spend 2-3 days resolving the issue, and then I would communicate back with my customer. The problem over here is that a lot of issues are repeated from customer to customer, region to region. They happen over and over again. But I realized we don't actually have a central hub where everything is recorded, so that diagnosis and analysis does not need to happen every single time. And it kind of became a learning opportunity for me as well. So I'm gonna quickly share my screen. If you have any questions, just write them in the chat box and we can get to that. So this is the FlytBase dashboard. I'm not gonna talk a lot about our product right now. I'm just gonna show you how customers are reporting their issues. Over here, when they click on this little button and they say report an issue, then they can write the summary, they can send attachments, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, and then they can just click submit, right? Once submit is clicked, here's what happens. We use ClickUp and Slack as our main repositories for these issues. The issue is automatically created on Slack. As you can see, we have a long thread of open issues. And then additionally, the same thing happens and a Slack thread is created where we have the title, the description, the information about all the hardware, and then down below a chain starts where we discuss what is happening in this issue with the dev team and me, and it's a little bit of a back and forth, right? What happened one particular time is that we had a drone that landed just out of nowhere in the middle of nowhere for no particular reason, and the dev team spent 2 days trying to figure out what is wrong with it. And over lunch, I was just discussing this with a colleague and he goes, oh yeah, my customer had this like 2 months ago. This XYZ was the issue. And I was like, okay, if I knew this, the dev team and I wouldn't have spent 2 days on it already. And that's when I decided maybe we need to start creating this repository. And the way it was done was actually pretty straightforward. I use a simple flow between ChatGPT, company knowledge, ClickUp, and Slack. What exactly is happening over here, right? When you go to ChatGPT, I hope my screen is visible to everyone. When we go to ChatGPT, click on this, by the way, is only available with like the enterprise plan and onward. I don't think even like a plus plan has access to company knowledge. And within company knowledge, you can basically, I don't know, why isn't that happening? Within company knowledge, just a second. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, I'm sorry. Okay, so within company knowledge, what happens is you can actually decide your sources for your knowledge, right? For me, it's my ClickUp page, this specific one over here that I showed, where all my issues, once the issues are closed, they come under this closed tab. And from there, they are also linked to the Slack thread. So that's why I've connected to ClickUp plus Slack. And from there, I basically have written this really, really long prompt. I'm just going to break down what the prompt actually is, right? It first starts by telling ChatGPT, okay, you first have to go to ClickUp. Within ClickUp, go to the issues, the list of issues which have already been completed. And from there, just link it back to the Slack thread. And from that Slack thread, you basically need to parse and read what has been discussed, right? This is the what portion. Like, look at what the issue is. You need to create an RCA. RCA is root cause analysis. So root cause analysis documents just have 3 main things: issue, solution, analysis. That's it. And then I gave it all the rules about how exactly I want my RCAs to look. I told it, okay, I need you to follow this specific format for my RCAs. And what it basically does is spit out a document, which looks something like, looks I'm going to open a sample, which looks something like this, right? It's not the most beautiful thing, but it doesn't have to be. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a bunch of these documents for a bunch of the issues, and it basically gives me a list of it over here. Now this becomes our supporting list. Just a second. Yeah, that's when we create our custom GPT with a repository of all of these documents that I've created so far. Is everyone with me? So, are there any questions right now? Please feel free to ask before I move on to the next step.
I think you're good.
Okay, perfect.
Give me a second. Somebody's raised their hands. Imam, do you have a question? Okay, no, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. So then again, we have now given ChatGPT this prompt. ChatGPT is like, okay, I understand what you're going for. It rephrases everything for me, and then I'm like, okay, run this whole thing for December 2025, and it basically spits out all the issues that have been marked as completed on ClickUp for the month of December. And it follows the same format I had asked it to. It also makes references to all the ClickUp threads, right, and all the Slack threads, so you can make sure that it isn't hallucinating, as we know it kind of tends to do at times. Over here, of course, it's all written out. You can then ask it for a markdown file or in a JSON format. That's up to you, the way you do it. I usually take markdown files because GPT finds it a little easier to read markdown files. And as you can see, a bunch of issues were created and resolved in this month. And then it's time to create our custom GPT, right? You could go through the tedious process of creating the custom GPT and configuring it yourself. I actually like to basically write a prompt for that as well, slightly faster and easier. The way to do that, again, I'm using this custom GPT as my support assistant. I explain what I want its role to be. I explain what the rules are going to be, what kind of answers it should give me, and again, how it should handle errors, any restrictions from my end, etc., etc. And once you actually spit this in, for example, let's just do it right now, create a new GPT. Right, create, just, right. When you do that, just FYI, I have not sat down and written all these prompts. I have again used ChatGPT to make them. I basically just go ahead and explain ChatGPT that, hey, I want to create a custom GPT, I wanted to do all of this, can you give me a prompt that, makes it do that? And as you can see, it's going to take a little bit, and after that, after it goes through this whole process, where was I? After it goes through this whole process, we basically get something like this, right? Where I have the name, the description, I have my exact instructions for how it's going to go through. And then, of course, the repository of RCAs that I've created. Any questions? Again, it's very straightforward. The point over here isn't doing something new, right? It's all about how it's being applied into different workflows. And what happens after this is that, hey, my drone landed unexpectedly without any manual commands. And now it's made references to the exact RCAs, what the possible issue could be. It's given me its confidence level. Okay, it's pretty confident that this is the issue. And then, some other probable causes. And honestly, the issue with that one problem was this: the drone battery was low. Because of that, if a drone battery is low, it would crash. So obviously, it triggers a failsafe, which makes the drone automatically land in a safe area. So if I had something like this, let's say just a while back, this would have been a lot more streamlined and faster. So as you can see, there's still a lot of manual interventions right now. I still have to manually tell ChatGPT, hey, parse all the ClickUp updates and Slack threads for this month, and then I still have to take those documents, I have to upload them into the custom GPT. And that is a little bit of a tedious work. It's definitely better than before, but it's not what the final product is going to look like. Currently, me and another colleague of mine, we are in the process of creating a front-end dashboard, which, in the background, it automatically, every time a issue thread is marked as, closed or completed, it creates the RCA, it puts that into the repository, and then we get a front-end FAQ system. So if I have my calls going on live on one side of the screen, let's say, okay, let's just go to this, right? Okay, this is my call that's happening with a customer, and then on this side of the screen, I will have my FAQ running. When a customer comes to me and says, okay, XYZ has happened, what could be the reason? I can quickly just type that in and get probable causes, and I could also go and ask my ChatGPT, okay, what questions can I ask my customer so that I know which of these causes it actually is, and dig deeper into their pain points. Does that make sense? Any questions so far about this? Pretty straightforward process.
Thanks,
Navi. I think we do have a question. ClickUp is like a Jira for issue recording, right?
Oh, is that for me? Sorry, yes, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, so the way we are using ClickUp is we have this automation set in the back end where we have connected that to our Slack as well as our platform itself. And we are only looking at it as an issue reporting tool, but you could very well be using ClickUp for your day-to-day tasks or calendars or your to-do list. It's a project, it's like a more basic project management platform for you to use however you want to.
Works. Any other questions, folks?
Any help in breaking down the prompt? I know that Shruti is going to share the prompt with you guys and all of those details, but any questions about how prompts are made or about the custom GPT itself, or?
It is a document that you created as well. So you just did mention that you had the complete RCA documents mentioned in your custom GPT, right?
Yeah.
So were you able to cover about what's in those documents and how to make those documents?
Yeah, I mean, do you want me to go into the details about what's in those documents exactly? So the way it works is that we usually get our customer names and everything, which I've obviously redacted for this session, right? And it starts off with just saying directly issue, the description, the solution, and the analysis of it. The analysis is a good to have. We don't always need it, right? Because this is simply a question, black and white sort of a deal when it comes to resolving issues sometimes. I think, yeah, Amaya, what's up?
Really cool workflow. I had a question about your prompt. Was it a one-shot prompt or is it a few shot? Where you've given examples of what good looks like and...
Yeah, I mean, let me show you exactly how I wrote the prompt. Just give me a second to open up that Slack thread. So the GPT thread. Basically, the way it worked for me was that I already had an ongoing chat with my ChatGPT to create the RCA, right, initially. Company knowledge is something that's come out in the past month or so, Shruti, if I'm right. It wasn't always there. So before company knowledge, it was a lot more of a manual effort where I personally went to ClickUp and then I personally went to Slack and copy-pasted everything. So my GPT already has that context, right, of what I'm trying to do. And then I basically say, okay, hey, now this is just automated. Why don't you make it a little make it better for me? And because of its past context, it just gave everything in one shot. But for someone who's starting from scratch, will have to go through the efforts of providing detailed, accurate context. And it's not just about what you're trying to solve. You also have to tell GPT to tell you how you want it to behave, how you want it to give you the answers. Because initially I faced a lot of problems with it hallucinating, you know. Just when I started this work, like this automation, like 2 months ago, I had created 144 RCAs, okay? And I realized that all of them are useless, just because there was so much hallucination happening over there. So these are like these small things that, and the thing is, it's not easy to figure out when it is hallucinating. And 144 RCAs is a lot to, you know, go through. And it was just easier to start from scratch. So when it comes to these kind of things, you have to be very, very detail-oriented and particular about the exact language you're using with GPT and the exact context you're giving GPT. I mean, that's what I would say. Let me share my screen about how I got that prompt. Okay, look at that. I'm going to, of course, there's a long thread before this, right? It already knows all of it. So I didn't have to give it a very detailed prompt because my ChatGPT project already has instructions about how I want the GPT to behave. So it was just like, okay, I'm going to create the custom GPT so that when someone has an issue, I can put the issue there. It could pass through an existing knowledge base, give me the custom GPT prompt so that the only thing I have to do is upload the RCA docs. And ta-da! It did it, right? And it captured everything I needed it to capture. But this was only possible because of a lot of existing context. I think at FlytBase we no longer call it prompt engineering, we call it context engineering. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. And as a follow-up question, have you had to cross-validate what in a live customer call, like the stakes can be very high.
For sure.
So then you have to
how much time was spent in trying to know whether what
So I think like
coming out is true?
I think now I've been working with FlytBase for 5 months, right? I think like a lot of the issues I pretty much know exactly. Like I don't know it. Some of those I've been able to parse and correct myself, right? Because here's the thing, when for example, let me share my screen again. Let's go to the custom GPT that I had. Where is it? Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Is it this one? Oh, it's this one. Okay, sorry. I just have a lot of tabs open. No, it's not this. Okay, this one. Yeah. So, when I read this, and I gave it a very simple one line, right, which is my drone has landed out of nowhere somewhere. How can I actually use it? Oof. I'm sorry, I think I lost it. Okay, never mind. Yeah, initially there was a lot of cross-referencing that needed to be done. It ended up taking a lot of time, but because I've kind of narrowed down exactly how to prompt it, it's become, error margins have reduced to roughly 10%, which is still there, right? So if I'm on a live customer chat and I'm texting with my GPT, I think I have, as an engineer, as someone who's been working in this for a while, I myself know what comments to disregard and what to take into account. What we're doing for our next step, which is the completely automated flow, is that we have our director of engineering, and he has been actually cross-checking this for me. But I think once we have this whole thing set and we trust ChatGPT a little bit more to not hallucinate, we won't have to put this effort in either. Even though there is manual effort, I think that it's better than having to do everything manually. So it's kind of worth it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Perfect. Does that, sorry, I have a tendency to ramble sometimes, so I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it does answer my question.
Okay, perfect. Anything else, guys? It seems I was a little too quick and we still have time left.
Any other
questions?
Doesn't seem like it.
Either you dump them with too much of information, or you just quote the shit out of them.
I think I was just very good at explaining myself. How about that? Just covered everything that needed to be covered.
Anyways,
Okay.
Any type of automation when you encounter new issues. Okay.
Could you explain what you mean by any type of it? Like, could you double down on that question a little bit more, please? What exactly do you mean?
Yeah, I think the way I was trying to envision is, let's say, if you encounter new issues that may not be part of your repository yet, are there any kind of flows that you are creating?
If it's a completely new issue that nobody has actually seen, the only way to go through that is for our dev team to solve that issue, right? Because when it comes to something as complex as drones and dogs, it gets difficult to point out if it's the software at fault, if it's the hardware at fault. I know that the dev team themselves have certain automations in place to help their work out, but until they do their part, I can't exactly go ahead and create the customer-facing workflow. So my workflow is kind of dependent on theirs, and I can't speak about their workflow with 100% confidence, I'm sorry. But the way it would work is once they have resolved this issue, the RCA would be created, it would be dumped into the repository, and now it is part of the knowledge base.